We are in the middle, and we have to finish today Be'ez Hashem because we've got to go to Hilchos Purim Be'ez Hashem. A lot to discuss. And we started yesterday. Let's do a little bit of a recap of what we said. How many assume that a person can be over on when he makes a simple salad, and that salad could be a vegetable salad or a fruit salad. Doesn't really make a difference. At the end of the day, he could be over on many yisurim. One of those yisurim we said yesterday, and that was a big one, was boire. Another one we mentioned was. Oh, very good. Excellent. Chazaras Hashem. Beautiful. Was moichik. And the one that we left off with was toichein. Wow, beautiful. Excellent. Well done. Beautiful. So, that is the inyan of the three Yisurim so far. Someone's going to make Baruch Hashem a wonderful, wonderful husband. Okay. Now, it goes like this, so by side. So where are we? Let's go through some of the other issues. I told you there's basically 9 problems that a person can be, I'm sure we can find more. Seriously, I think there's 10. That a person can be over on when he makes a simple salad. So boire, we said, either the peeling or the separation, something like that. We talked about obviously the moichik of the eggshells, and more importantly the tochen of the cutting, which is very, very important because that after all is the main part of making the salad. I want to move on, and again, I'm not discussing this in any particular order of the Rais and the Rabbanons. We're just going through some of the things. Number 4 would be the issue of muktzah. Where does muktzah come into this? Hello? Eggshells. Very good. You make it the ayim mitzvibel, and you got the eggshell. You should know. When we talk about the ayim mitzvibel, right? We talk a lot about the ayim mitzvibel, right? I used to give a shir for Hasidim in a Chassidish Beis Medrash, and it was in English. And a guy comes over to me, a mamash old man, he's never in the world anymore. It was an old man, and he told me that he was by the Klozberger Rebbe, when the Klozberger Rebbe, by the Tish, used to make the Ayim Mitzvibel. He said people were crying, mamash, people were the tears, and the tshuva that people were doing. He said you can't imagine the Klozberger Rebbe making Ayim Mitzvibel was something special. The Litvaks are like, huh? What on earth does that mean? How do you make that? Right, exactly. Like, what are you talking about? People are crying when he makes the egg salad? And I was like, the onions! No. Anyway, so like Daniel said very beautifully, the muktzah we're dealing with over here is the problem of the eggshells, which means that when a person has eggshells, they're muktzah. So, how are you allowed to move them? Similar to that, the truth is you don't have to say eggshells. You could say any peel that is not edible. We know, we learned this in Ochos Muktzah, that any peel that is not edible is muktzah. And what's that? Any peel that's not edible to animals as well, in Achanami. Or, if it's edible to animals, but there's animals around over here, in Achanami. Or what? Very good, excellent. Wow, Baruch Hashem, I come here for a reason, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so, what about pits? The seeds, also the same idea. Right, it depends. You have to open up a peach, for example. Right, you've got the seed. Nobody eats that. A mango. Okay, depending how much fruit is left. Okay, that's another one of the shilas that a person has to be careful of. Hilchos Muktzah. Obviously, we know the heterim. One of the heterim are what? What would be one of the heterim? Leave a bit and a chanami. Okay, that could be, but the egg wouldn't be Nageya. What could it be Nageya? Grav Sharei, very good. That if it's in my way, it's disgusting, it's not nice, whatever it is, so then there's a head to move it. But again, of course, a person should be peeling directly over the garbage can, because to make sure he doesn't get into this shaila. Okay, so that is shaila number 4. Shaila number 5, losh. Heilige Lasha by say. Losh, I think I remember him telling me that losh is probably one of the hardest of the Lamatis Malachas to learn. I'm not sure if any of you have ever delved into Siman Shin Chof Aleph. I do suggest it. But I met one time a kollel, in a different kollel. They were telling me, oh yeah, we learned Losh, we started it and we gave up. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult because the Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch talks about all sorts types of kemach keli and all interesting things and mixtures, and it's very hard to make it lamaisa. Now, Losh is a very important halacha. What is the Isra of Losh? What's the Isra of Losh in a nutshell? Hello? What's the Isra of Losh? Yankiv? מה זה תגיד לי? אסור לדבר עכשיו? אתה באמצע משהו, בסדר. Very good, beautiful, wonderfully said. You take water and flour, you put it zusammen, bang, you got a dough. What does that mean practically? Tuna and mayonnaise. What's the din? Egg, the ayim mitzvibel with the oil, liver and mayonnaise or oil. What? Warp and wet. Yes, very, very good, excellent. Right, there's a time how to do it, right? Weetabix. You don't eat Weetabix? But you're going to give it to your baby?
I like croutons, you get so...
You're not going to give it to your baby? Come back to me in a couple of years. Weetabix, by the way, is a major shaila. Weetabix, does anybody know you know what Weetabix is? They don't sell it in Lakewood, right?
Yeah, they do.
They sell Weetabix in Lakewood? Williamsburg?
No, we're not with it.
It's very good, brother. Manchester, for sure they do. Okay, go to Tesco's. Doniel, Flatbush, they do, yeah? They don't sell Weetabix? From South Africa, by the way, they call it Weet-Bix. That's what it's called, Weet-Bix, right?
With the chocolate chips.
Not with the chocolate chips. That's also, by the way, you know you can't make Weetabix on Shabbos. Everyone knows that. That's a double Pasha Admoid. Who doesn't know you can't make Weetabix on Shabbos? It's the rice of Losh. You're making it clump one together. I took it once from Zolobach, right? Because I took a lot of things from him. He used to love it when I came to him because, people come to him, Shani's mutter also. I come with like ketchup bottles and Weetabix and baby wipes and all the big demonstrations by him. It was very gishmak. So I bought him once a whole bowl and Weetabix. So he poured the milk in there and he's like, Mashela, Zasu. Also, I mean, it's posh it. It's a belila over. There's no help. You can't even make a sheet of such a thing. Right, there I tell you how to make it on Shabbos. I'm not going to now. Crumble it before Shabbos. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to tell you. But losh means to combine things together. Now, if you make a salad, for example, and you put mayonnaise inside there. For example, let's take a simple one. You make a coleslaw salad. How do you make a coleslaw salad? You've got the chopped up cabbage and carrots, whatever it is, and you put mayonnaise there. Now the problem is when you put the mayonnaise there, what does the mayonnaise do depending on how much you put in? It clumps it together. Now that's going to be a shadow of losh because you're clumping particles of food together. Whereas when you pour a bowl of cornflakes, just for the sake of example, you're not clumping the piece of cornflakes together. They're all separate. And therefore it's okay. In 20 minutes if you leave it that way, it'll expand and become a mush. That's not my problem. And therefore it's okay. That's not a problem at all. Losh would make enough gemina on the consistency. If the consistency means that it became one clump, it became mixed together, it became one zach, that's going to be a shaila of losh. So every salad that you make will depend. So for example, you make the tuna and the mayonnaise. What's the halacha in that case? How do you make tuna and mayonnaise? I'm talking for the Americans, it's tuna. How do you make it? What do you make it? How do you make it on Shabbos? How does the oil make it? No, I'm saying, what do you do until now? Shouldn't ask that question, right? What do you do until now? That's what we mean. That's why I came here. How do you do it?
It was okay to do it like that.
If it was okay, which way? The one until now? Okay. And people come after it. I did this. What is it okay? So Daniel said warp and weft. What does he mean? The Gemara says shesiv erev. That means when you mix the mayonnaise into the tuna, you have to mix it this way, this way, this way, this way. Criss-cross. Chazon Ish has a shaila where you have to pick up the spoon in between, or can you just go around and then turn the direction? And the reason for that is it's a shinoi. It's not the normal way of doing it. Now we're not going into the details of why that's mutter, but you have to be very careful. Whereas if you put a salad dressing, by the way, and you pour it over a salad, for example, you've got a salad of cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers, and you pour a liquidy salad dressing, a regular salad dressing, Thousand Island, whatever it may be. You've not clumped the pieces together. It's not become one thing. It's just a piece of vegetable with the dressing on it, and therefore that's okay. Okay. So generally, the losh you have to be very careful what you do and how you do it. If you put a lot of oil in the egg or the liver, again, that could be a shaila of losh. You've got to be very, very careful. Next shaila, Rabbi Isai. Where are we holding? Number 6, right? Is anyone counting? We're holding number 6, right? We're holding number 6. 5? No, I think we're holding number 6, right? Hello? Last count. Can I know? What's the next shaila? Ma'abed. What's ma'abed? What's ma'abed? Who? Tanning. Very good. How's this negate to making a fruit salad or a vegetable salad? That's a good question. I remember a guy comes over to me, he says to me, Rabbi, I have a shaila for you. My parents are very machmir on this halachas, they're very makbid, but my in-laws, I just got married, whatever, my in-laws are not makbid on this halacha. So, excuse me? I didn't realize there were choices involved over here. It doesn't work that way. If it's asa, it's asa, right? This is a halacha, by the way, that somebody told me in a certain shul in Chutz La'aretz, that they opened up one of the Sfarim in Hilchos Shabbos, which I happen to think is a beautiful sefer in Hilchos Shabbos. I'm not going to say who wrote it, where it came from. It's a beautiful sefer in Hilchos Shabbos. I think we even have it on the shelf. And he writes this halacha. The guy calls me on Motzei Shabbos. He told me what happened. He says he was in shul, and there was like a guy. They were arguing about something, whatever it was. A guy goes over to the sefer from Shrunk, and he opens up this sefer in Hilchos Shabbos, and it talks about the halacha that we're about to mention. He says, "What a load of garbage! Can't be. People have this thing that if I never heard about it, can't be that it's asa. Ma'abed is one of those things, right? It's one of those sensitive halachas. And what's the halacha of ma'abed? Putting salt on a vegetable salad. What's the problem? Nira ma'abed. In other words, how do they make the tanning of the skins in the Mishkan? How do they... what? Okay, no problem. Where were we? How do you keep the skins of the hides of the animal? How do you keep them fresh? How do you keep them not going moldy? So you pickle them. You put them in salt, whatever, salt water, and that preserves them. So therefore, anything that involves preserving is included in ma'abed, right? Now, it might not be in Issa D'Oraisa, the Gemara says clearly, ain't ibud ba'uchlin, but it's at least a D'Rabbanan, the Rambam Paskins, and therefore, what's that? Comes along Shimon and says, that's very nice if I'm actually pickling it, right? And the olden days, they didn't have fridges and freezers. How did they keep their meat and everything else fresh? By putting a lot of salt on it, right? Levi Yitzchak, we learned that in Simon Sadi Aleph in Yodea. And therefore, if you're going to eat it right away, says Shimon, should be no problem. The answer is you're right, but it will depend on how many pieces. The Taz says it really depends on how many pieces you're dealing with. If it's a whole eat it is no problem.
No.
Putting the salt on something, no one puts salt on the herring on Shabbos. You eat the herring that was pre-salted, that's okay. To put the salt on is going to be a problem. So basically it really depends on a few things. Number one, it depends on certain types of food that are included in the halacha. For example, there's many types of food that are not included. Why they're not included? Because nobody salts them, nobody preserves them. I'll give you an example, avocado. Nobody preserves an avocado, right? Nobody does an egg. People preserve eggs, you don't do that. So therefore, if you've got egg or you've got avocado, there would be no problem with that case. Cooked meat, you're allowed to put salt on cooked meat and chicken, of course you are. Nobody preserves those things, only when it's raw maybe. Whereas if you've got tomatoes, you've got onions, you've got mushrooms, you've got carrots, cucumbers, all of these things, these are things that people preserve in the stores. They pickle them, they preserve them, they last for a long time, and therefore when you put the salt on, even though you're doing it just to eat, just to make it taste nice, but at the end of the day, since the Metzias is what I'm doing is something that's Nirika Ma'abed, is going to be a problem. By the way, if you've got a salad that's half chicken and half, onion, so I guess you'd go by rov. If rov of the salad was chicken, then you'd be allowed to salt it. If rov of the salad was vegetables, then that would be problematic. Now, what are the heterim over here? The heterim would be if it's mamish derech achila. One of the examples would be if you got 1 or 2 pieces of cucumbers in front of you, put salt in and eat it right away, then there's no problem. If you got a spoon full of salad and you put a sort of salt in it and you put it in your mouth, that would not be a problem. Whereas if you've got a whole plate of salad, then you could get a sprinkle and then you serve it that way. That's going to be problematic because it's a whole bunch, plus you're not eating it right away. Again, Rabbi say, there's a tremendous amount of shayla. By the way, there's a shayla with sugar. Shlomo Zalman has the shayla in Shemir Shabbos, whether or not there's an issa of putting sugar, for example, on grapefruits. Right? People cut a grapefruit in half and they sprinkle it with sugar. Is that much as well? Because how do they preserve? How do they preserve fruits? How do we eat some of the fruits on Tu B'Shvat? They were covered in sugar. They were preserved in sugar. Remainder of the time, the same thing will be with this over here.
If you put sugar in grapefruit, you have a problem.
Why? You never heard of that before?
With honey.
You've never heard of sugar on grapefruits? Have you?
Grapefruits.
Morty, you heard of this before? You never? 1 second, is this not an American thing?
It's weird.
Right, it's not an American thing? No, because people preserve things with sugar. So just, even if you're not doing it to preserve, it's nirika ma'abed because you're doing the same thing that they theoretically do. Unless your mamish is on your spoon, you're eating it right away. 1 second, they don't do this in America?
No. You take a sour fruit and you put sugar on it.
Jed, in Toronto? No such thing.
No.
Morty, you never heard of this before?
Yeah, we do.
Hello, Dovi?
We already know English
I would
people
put honey.
all the time.
This is unbelievable. In England they do it avada.
That's weird.
I never heard that. I never heard an American do. You never heard of this.
I prefer
יעקב, שמעת משהו כזה? כן, באמת? פה בארץ. גוואלדיק. Okay, there is a heter, by the way. There is a heter. And the heter would be, if you pour oil on it first, then you're okay. In other words, if the salt you're putting on it is after the dressing, then it's no problem whatsoever. Why? Because the Gemara says it weakens the koich of the salt when there's a liquid there, like vinegar, like oil, and all these things. And that will be one of their terms, to put salt on things over there. A person has to worry about 2 more things. 2 more things, I say. Into the dressing, that's not a problem. Unless it's 2/3, which have to be shaded by karpas. And again, by making the salt water for Pesach. If it's 2/3 of salt, 1/3 of water, then you have a problem. I don't know if you use that much salt for your karpas. Probably not. Now, 2 more things we have to finish. Number 1, smoothing. The issue of smoothing, for example, if you make a tuna salad and you want to smooth it over, so the Ramah says at the end of Shem Chavav that there's an issue of smoothing only when you're doing it to shame the smoothing. But if you're doing it for presentation purposes, just to look normal, for example, if you spread peanut butter over your bread, or if you said to spread avocado over the cracker, is that called smoothing? No, I just need to spread it everywhere. That's not a problem. But if you want to make it look extra nice, so then that's hamachmet tovel of bracha, that the Ramah says not to smooth something for the sake of the smoothing, for the sake of looking nice. And the last issa And the person to worry about is the issa of schita, because sometimes when you cut things, especially if you're making a fruit salad, it will be soichet, it will squeeze out some of the juice over there. Is that a problem of schita? So the main shaila is no, it's a psik reisha, maybe do loy nichele by a drabonon, because it's not there schita also. So generally that would not be such an issa unless you use a blunt knife and dafka squeeze, then obviously you've got a problem. But Rabbi say it comes out that I think we've covered 10 isurim that a person can be over on for making a simple salad on Shabbos. Rabbi said, think about how many things we do on Shabbos and how many things a person can be over on. This is what the Chofetz Chaim meant in the Akdama of Chelik Gimel and Mishnah Berurah when he says that if a person does not know Hilchos Shabbos, he can be over on come of isurim without even realizing it. Be'ez Hashem, tomorrow Rabbi saying we'll be starting the Siyata Deshmaya, the halachos of Purim. Have a wonderful day.